family, not just for yourself. I'm a bestseller, a house flipper, a businesswoman, a go-getter, a big investor, a gold builder that could teach you to get richer like millions, baby. You really about to fill your savings. You about to have multiple streams to pass to your children, baby. Let me teach you to get your credit on track in the long run. You'll make it all back at Catalyst and watch it all psychology black on firm, but we ain't all black.
Hey, everybody. What's up? It's your girl, Constance Carter. And we're here live as we are every single day. We are live on the Fly Nubian Queen. We're live on I Am Constance Carter. Everywhere you have social media, follow me at I Am Constance Carter. Now, listen, as you come in, you know this is a dialogue and not a monologue. And I see so many of you here. I know we have people that tune in from all over the world, which is so cool. What's up, Maria Jackson? Which is so cool. But make sure you're following us. And then if you happen to want to get notifications for every time we go live, I want you to text the word Queens to 87948 for the Fly Nubian Queen. Now, listen. We're going to talk about something pretty cool and pretty exciting. Now, it's not cool or exciting. This is actually about Black trauma, Black generational curses and families and the traditional families and the non-traditional families. And I really want to know if you think the way that we are going today, is it ruining our families? Is it ruining our communities? And so I brought my good girlfriend, April Sampe here. And we want to have I wanted to talk to you about this, April. There's so much that's going on in the media, girlfriend. And I just think it's very interesting how people are just showing up. You know, I was looking earlier, statistics show that Gen Zs and millennials are not getting married at the rate that we once were. It's due to a whole lot, right? It's due to the economy. It's due to the socioeconomic status. This is due to the fact that they just don't believe in marriage anymore. It's due to the fact that they choose this alternative lifestyle, and they really don't want to get married. What are your thoughts about how people are showing up and the reason why they're not trying to get married like they were back in the day?
Well, I agree with everything that you just said as their reasons for not getting married. However.com, I do think that if we're going to talk about the economy, that is a reason to get married. Amen. A lot of people aren't paying attention to the fact that, having a spouse or having a significant other does add wealth. That's number one. If you have children, it actually adds to your children. However, I do also understand that nowadays people are focusing so much on their career and just the way that this world is going, there's so many issues that people have that make them say, you know what, I don't want to get married. So I understand it from both sides. I was one of those people who never wanted to get married. Now I'm married and I'm like,
she said, I's married now. I's married now. Look though. So just going back to like Cam Newton, and so many people take this stance. Nick Cannon. Cam Newton was like, my desire to get married is lower than my fear of getting a divorce. And so he's kind of, he's living, life on his own terms, but he kind of got blasted for this. Dr. Cheyenne Bryant came in and she kind of read him his rights. Did you see that interview?
Mm-mm.
Oh, girl.
Right. I have beautiful children.
How many?
8. I want more. I just want God to bring them.
Oh, okay. And you have, so you just...
Because my point is this. My desire to get married is lower than my fear of divorce. I'm taking my time.
You're being very action-based. You have 8 kids with 3 different women.
Yes.
You are creating, procreating, and multiplying. That is not taking your time. You're being very selectively active. Okay? So you're creating, and disclaimer, the kids are innocent, they are beautiful and amazing. Anything I say has nothing to do with them babies, because I can't wait to be a mom, and I love the kids, period. But you are proactively choosing where you want to be active at and where you want to take your time. You want to take your time in having a wife because of your own fears. But you will, and I say this with all respect and love, what I'm about to say next, okay, Cam? But you will selfishly create broken families, even if you're in their life and you're a proactive father, and I believe you're an amazing daddy. I can only imagine with just your presence and knowing you thus far. But these families are still broken. Every child cannot have Papa in the house with them. So some child, if not all, will end up with some kind of deficit without daddy being there. Now, you chose to do that. I'm not saying you sat there and woke up one morning and said, I want to be selfish today, so I'm going to go make a baby. Not saying that at all. But those are selfish acts at the expense of your fear. So at what point do you feel the fear, do it anyways? And yeah, that is a low functioning behavior. To say that I am going to create these homes. Let me go better. I'm going to build these houses and put kids and these beautiful women and kids in them, but I ain't going to create a home in them. I'm going to wait till I dissipate my fear to find a wife where I'm still going to be fearful with, because there's no such thing as not having some type of nerve or some type of feeling behind marrying somebody who you're spending your life with. And then I'm going to build a home with her while all these other beautiful babies have houses. That's completely unfair and it's selfish.
That is so funny, because that was what I was thinking.
And you know, the funny thing is, so when he posted that, he had posted a clip. He was like, 41-year-old unmarried therapist tell. He was so salty because the people was coming for him. I mean, that is a very low functioning attitude, April. This man said, you know, listen, I got the money. I could afford all these kids. I have all these beautiful women. You know, his first girlfriend, because she never became a wife, I think she had 5 kids for him. Hoping, okay, maybe he gonna marry on this next one, maybe the next one, maybe the next one. And he never married her. And then, you know, now he's on to the next, and then the next. So he has 3 baby mamas, 8 children.
Okay, I'm not mad at the fact that he has 3 baby mamas. I'm mad at the fact that he's intentional about making the babies without wanting to be with said babies. Like, that's the part that angers me to my core. Listen, sometimes slip-ups happen, right? Slip-ups are real. However, it's bullshit that a person is just like, you know what? I want to make more babies, and I don't care about the outcome of said babies. I got enough money to throw at them. But then your children end up having all of these emotional issues, and they're upset because daddy wasn't around. And so you look at your daughter and say, well, she got daddy problems. She just, you know, she's an issue. And my sons have daddy problems. They're just an issue. Come on, son. You the problem. When are you going to blame yourself? When are you going to take ownership? And I'm sorry. One thing that I can't stand with the way that the world is going right now is everybody makes it a man-woman issue, a him-her issue, whatever the case is. But I honestly do hate that, just like you said, the way that it was titled, right? Because it was something to put her down. It was putting the woman down, even though she's speaking freaking facts. So it's like, it's okay for her to speak facts. I mean, it's not okay for her to speak facts if it's at his expense.
Right. Absolutely. And then when you talk about a man-woman thing, you know, a lot of times men, because men don't want to account. I don't want to say men. Okay, so now we're
right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want.
But it is a lot of times people don't want to take accountability for their actions. So then they'll say, well, you know, then why does she end up with him? You know, why? And they don't want to take responsibility for what they do. This man has a lot of money. He's putting these babies in these houses, but he's not creating homes, and therefore creating deficit. And so the question is, or the, you know, what my thought is it is ruining our community, because you need that yin and that yang. I don't care what, you know, you think.
I blame the women too. Don't get it twisted.
You need a man and a woman. You really do. To provide to raise and rear healthy children. Now, that's healthy men and healthy women. That's non-toxic men and women. I'm not saying if you throw somebody toxic up in there, like that's just as good, but I think it is, you know, the destruction of our race. When you look at millennials, like I said, millennials and Gen Zs, they're just like, we're just not getting married these days. And if you look at our community as a whole, April, only 30 to 35% of Black people are getting married today. As opposed to our Asian counterparts, they're at 60 to 65%. As opposed to the Hispanic community, they're 45 to 50%. As opposed to the white community, they're 50 to 55%. And only 30 to 35% of us are getting married. And so we're producing children from broken homes. Mm-hmm. And so then what does that do for our community? How does that impact us?
Well, from a financial standpoint, it takes us down. It doesn't, you have a lot of children that don't know how to have that healthy balance, right? They don't see what a healthy relationship looks like. And I mean, let's just be real here. We have a lot of parents. I know a lot of us who are watching have parents or have seen parents who are really not that necessarily happy in their relationship, but they stay together for the children. Please, I'm not saying that that's the right way to do it. I'm just saying that back in the day, they would work at it no matter what. You know what I mean? They would do it for their children. They would do it for their pockets, but they would do it. And I see like now, no one's willing to work towards anything. Everybody wants a microwave society. If it's not perfect, if it's not perfectly packaged, then it's not good. My biggest problem with it not being so perfectly packaged is that if you think about perfectly packaged food, what's up, Kelvin? If it's not perfectly packaged food, right? Then, I mean, if it is perfectly packaged, it's not good for you. And I thought about something that you and Kyle did the other day. Y'all were talking about, oh my God, Pop-Tarts.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Pop-Tarts are perfectly packaged. Now, if we read all of the ingredients that are in Pop-Tarts, it's ungood. It's unhealthy. It will kill you. But it's perfectly packaged. You know what I mean? So what we need to stop doing is trying to make things so perfect. And let's just be real here. Make it what it really is. Like, put in the work and stop making everything so easy.
So, April, do you think people have unrealistic expectations of marriage, of relationships? Is that what's going on now? Because I think that social media has really just effed up a lot of relationships, because
you
have the men and the women talking, oh, I ain't doing 50-50. You have the high value man, you have the high value women. But it sounds like there's a lot of unrealistic expectations out there. What do you think?
I think that 90% of I'm lying. I think 98.2% of what's on social media is bullshit. Let's just talk about like all of these relationships that we're seeing. They all look so perfect and they're not. And so we believe you have the younger generation that is like, well, that's unattainable, because it is unattainable. It doesn't exist. Every relationship that anybody's ever been in comes with some sort of struggle. You know what I mean? And like my husband and I were actually just having this conversation today. The reason that he and I have been able to work as long as we have, and we ain't been married but so long, right? Is because of the relationships that I had with my friends years prior. My best friend and I have known each other since we were 5. We have had arguments. We broke up. We never wanted to speak to each other again. We couldn't stand each other. And now you look at us and we are thriving. And that made me realize, if I can have a best friend this long, why can't I have a husband this long? Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's so hard about that? Means you have to work towards it. I work towards being in a relationship with her.
Right.
Work towards being in a relationship with him.
And social media, it lies, because we look at couples and we're like, oh, these are couples goals. These are relationship goals. And I even think back to, even in my own life and looking at old pictures, and I'm thinking, oh my God, we were so happy. And then I'll go to my kids, look at that. And they be like, 5 minutes before, you don't remember 5 minutes before this, everybody was getting gone off. Like, you don't know what goes on in people's lives. The picture may look pretty, but it doesn't mean that it is. And so we have this false narrative of what it's supposed to look like. And it's not just, men, it's also women.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know who Joie Chavez is, but she has a baby by Bow Wow. Mm-hmm. She has a baby by Future. And now she's pregnant by a football player,
Erykah Badu.
And they're broke up. Well, yeah, Erykah Badu. She has Andre 3000. She has Jay Electronica, and she has the DOC. Mm-hmm. So does that make her low, quote unquote, low functioning? Let me just show you the video of Joie Chavez right now, because she was like in her bag saying that, listen,
I take care of my kids. I don't get any child support. Repeat that. I don't get any child support. I don't really ask for anything. I'm able to do everything on my own.
I mean, she thought she ate with that, but is that a true flex? Not getting child support from your kids, for your kids?
No, I mean, then we're looking at it from a financial standpoint. Okay, so I'm going to ask you, How do you look at that when you see that? Because you're a mother, you have 4 beautiful children. How do you see that? Do you see that as like, wow, that's somebody I would want to be just like?
Absolutely not. And you know, the thing about it, and I'll be transparent. One of the things that my kid's father says is, your mama got it. And so one of the things that my kids say, my boys especially, is just because she has it, it doesn't absolve you from your responsibility of taking care of us. Even if she does have it, doesn't mean that you don't have to take care of us either. You should still be contributing, not just financially, right? Emotionally, you should be there, present, and all that stuff. But no, I think that's absolutely bullish. It's bull pucky, because a man should want to take care of their child. Like, you shouldn't even have to go to child support court. A man should want to like provide. And I'm not talking about McDonald's every now and then, or dad, can you give me $20 so I can go with DoorDash? Like, be an ever-present help for your children.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I look at it from what she just said. That to me makes your children look at you a certain way, right? Because their children are going to see this one day, and most likely they're going to see it when they're teenagers, and they're going to be like, oh, well, what does that say about dad? One thing that I don't like, and never did like, is when a mother or a father will talk down to their children about their spouse or the significant other or their baby mama or baby daddy. I hate that with a passion, because I feel that one thing that your children are always going to do is they're going to form their own opinion.
That's right.
And so don't speed them to it, because that also takes away their innocence.
And also they're going to, just like you said, they're going to see for themselves by, you know, the action of the parent. So you could try to turn your child against the other parent all you want to, but they will see for themselves. Now, Maria Jackson said, I'm 50 years old. I would love to be a wife, but they are all gay, married or broke. Is that true, April? How old were you when you got married?
40.
Okay.
Oh God, I was 40.
And had you given up on the idea of getting married at that point?
Well, I never wanted to be married ever.
Okay.
So let's start there. I thought that marriage was just stupid. And it's funny because I met my person and everything just completely changed. And I'm glad that I was able to have an open mind and change. I will say, as far as what she was explaining, that they're either gay, married, or broke. The one thing that I would probably look past is the broke part. And the only reason I would say that, and trust me.
Wait, you don't mind them being gay and married?
No, I would look past them being broke.
Okay. So that shouldn't be a factor.
Not saying that it shouldn't be a factor. Don't get it twisted. I mean, you don't want no broke man. But is he broke because he doesn't have you? You know what I mean?
April talking about she can multiply. See, when a man comes with her, he ain't gonna be broke no more, because she gonna lift him up. He gonna make that money. It ain't even about him.
Broke when we first got together, so don't get it twisted. Like, my man's not.
But you're saying you would. So if you weren't married, you wouldn't be tripping off of a man who was broke?
No, well, it depends, and that's what I'm saying. So is he a person who actually wants more for himself and has never seen what more really looks like? Or is he somebody who just really doesn't want more?
I'm gonna tell you right now, April, you a few years younger than me, but I'm damn near 50, and I refuse at this ripe old age of damn near 50. I'm 48 years old to be building a ninja. I refuse. At this age, you cannot come broke. I'm just sorry. And you might have dreams and aspirations and all that shit, and that's cool. And the Bible says, and somebody else can help build you, but it won't be Constance Carter, because I got kids, I got businesses, I got the community, and I need you. I need an asset and not a liability. I don't have time to be building no Negro. So for all of you that, come into my DMs and you're still trying to figure out what it is that you want to do, I'm not interested. However, and it's not even about the money. It's just like, I don't have time to build a person in that way. I don't have the capacity, just because of my life. But God bless you, because you might be for somebody else. You might be for somebody else, just not me. And that's okay. But don't kill me because of that preference of me not wanting to be with nobody broke. I'm just not gonna do it.
I'm not saying to be with somebody like flat broke.
You said you can keep broke on the table, sis.
No, you can, and I'm not backing down from that. What I'm saying is, no, if he's like homeless on the street, that's a totally different.
I ain't saying homeless on the street. I'm saying, if for me, baby girl, at this age in my life, if I want to get up and I want to go to, say, the Caribbean next week, I have the capacity to do it. The person that I would love to have in my life should also have the capacity to do it. We just have to have lifestyles that match. And when you're talking about equally yoked, and that's the wrong term because we're not married, but when you talk about the equality of it all, you want somebody that has the same interest and the ability to do the same things. Is that wrong?
No, it's not. But I will say,
I don't want no broke.
No, and I totally agree with you. But the most up-to-date research indicates that about 70% of female nursing home residents are either widowed, divorced, or have never been married. And so you have so many women who are saying, you know what, I don't want no broke man. I don't want no this and I don't want no that. And then they end up dying by themselves.
And that's fine, because I'd rather do that than to have somebody that is a burden on me. You know, I'd rather be by myself because I'm happy by myself, right? No, I am. I'm happy.
No, I'm not saying you're not. That's
okay.
not. That's,
okay.
No,
And so
But
we have to be able to add to and not take away. Look, I got kids, and all of my kids, I support all of them. So I can't be supporting a man too. It's just.
But that's what I'm trying. I need you to hear what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you have to support this guy, and this is not directed at you, Constance Carter. This is directed at the woman who says, I want to be in a relationship. But the issue is that he's either married, which that's a problem. He's gay, he don't want you. Or he's broke. And my thing is that you can work through broke. You can't work through somebody who's gay because he don't want you. You can't work through somebody who's married. You can, but don't. You know what I'm saying? And somebody who's working on themselves. And I'm just going to be blunt. I'm going to put myself out there. I actually have been in a space where I was making very good money, right? And I ended up being homeless for a short time. That being said, a well-off man couldn't have dated me because he'd be like, nah, I don't want no broke woman.
You weren't ready.
My point is, you're coming with children, so that's your baggage.
Yes, and so they'd have to accept that. So it has to be a mutual understanding, right?
How is it mutual?
So if I was struggling and I was homeless, the last thing I should be thinking about is a Negro. The first thing I should be thinking about is a job or a place to live.
Again, we're talking about a person who is not as financially well off.
I'm not saying they got to make as much money as me, baby. I'm not saying that. I'm saying
you just said, and I quote, I want someone who is able to pick up and go to Cabo when I want to go to Cabo.
It don't mean he has the same amount of money as me, but he has capacity.
If he can't pick up and go to Cabo, but he is working a decent job and he is able to pay for himself, and he is able to live, hi doll, he's able to live very, very well. My question is he nobody, he shouldn't be.
I am in the sunset years of my life, April. I am not.
I love this conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you why this is hilarious. Because this is not the first time that we have had this conversation. And I don't know if you all have been paying attention, but this conversation was not directed. I mean, my thought was not directed to Constance, sorry, over here. But yet that's the way she received it. Amen?
No. I know it wasn't directed at you because you were talking to the young lady. And the thing, if you want to come and join us and have the conversation with us, we would love to have you on here because I need a different. There's something going on. To have a different perspective, sis. Come on over here. But no, it's just really about, for me, it's just a matching lifestyle, right? So it's not even about their money, right? Mm-hmm. But they have to there's just certain things that you want in your life, and I worked I worked a very long time. I worked very hard for a very long time. And so for that, you want somebody to match that. You know what I mean? Like they don't have to be an entrepreneur, but there's just certain things that you have in common that I think is extremely important. But going back to, the idea of people not getting married, true wealth is in marriage. And that's the reason why we don't see marriage in the Black community in the way we are is because we're not getting married at the same rates. And so, like, do you think like these celebrities, just like you said, Erica Badu got 3 baby daddies, three very well three well-off baby daddies. And they're all very different. All the children are very different. Is she creating broken homes for her children?
It's no different as far as I'm concerned. Why is it rules for me and not for thee?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't see any different. If she's okay with it, then she's okay with it. But I think it's selfish. If you are literally making babies like, again, if it's a slip up, it's a slip up. I think that, it is what it is. Slip ups happen. But if you're saying things like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, my next man is going to be another baby. My next woman is going to be another baby.
But so there's this whole idea of the battle of the sexes, April. Like, do you think that we have this issue and is social media destroying our community? Like, what are your thoughts around why?
Because social media makes people believe that shit that's not real is real. How many younger people have you had a conversation with that's like, yeah, such and such got this and I don't have anything, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still working towards this. They don't have it for real. They're hurting. You know what I mean? Like, if you actually knew what Samantha was over here really doing in real life, Samantha ain't got it.
Right.
And so, yes, I think that social media is ruining everybody because it's creating a false sense of reality.
But the thing about it, though, April, is, I think a lot of these youngsters, they're seeing their parents who had marriage that just didn't work. So they're like, I don't want to go through that. They've seen toxicity. They see the potential of what can be, and they just don't want to deal with it. And I was having a conversation with my daughter the other day, and I said, I want that for you. I want for my age, the marriage ain't the goal because I've been there, done that. I can write a book about it. But for you, I'd like that for you, and I would hope that you can find somebody who wants that too. But it's like the desire for men to get married is much lower. Even more so now because they're saying, I don't see a benefit of getting married. I mean, and that's real sad, especially for our community. And at this point, like my daughter can't afford to live on her own. I mean, she has an investment property. She has her property. She has tenants in there right now and they're paying her handsomely and it's great. She's cash flowing and all that. But honestly, because of the economy, she can't afford to live on her own. She can't, do anything on her own because more like here where I'm at, I don't see anything over here in the area in the whole city that's remotely interesting for under 700,000. Now you think about that. That's 700,000. That's about a $5,000 mortgage payment. What person coming out of college is able to afford something like that?
Well, let's also just be realistic in the fact that most people coming out of college are not going to pay $700,000 for their first home. I'm just saying, that's just me. What do I know?
I'm living in Bowie.
Okay. But to your point, 100%. And that's one of the reasons that I even brought up the quote unquote broke guy, right? Because it's funny. You can make 6 figures now and still be broke and be on your own. You know what I mean? Like, it just depends on what city you live in.
Right.
If you live in, if you live in Stockton, if you live in San Francisco, if you live in DC, if you live in New York, you are not going to be able to make $100,000 and be comfortable. You know what I mean? So you have to look at it from that perspective. And there's so many men that before I met my husband that I dated, who I'm like, where do you work? Dang, I mean, you're doing big things. And they have one child and they're paying, all this money for child support. And they're trying to be that good father that they've always wanted for themselves. And they just don't have it. You know what I mean? So I think that if they had somebody who was helping to build them, because I feel that that's what, and again, I am a married woman now, right? And so I see it from 2 different sides. I see it from the side where I never wanted to be married, but now I see the benefit of how I can add value and pour into my husband, just like my husband can add value and pour into me. And so if we were both broke and we were pouring into each other, we could potentially get to a point where we're in the black.
But let me ask you this, April. So like you have me where I'm like, I ain't messing with no broke, right? And according to Athena, only 6% of Black people actually make $100,000. And so if you're looking at the bigger picture, am I being unrealistic in me, not wanting somebody who is not stable or can't match certain things? Is that unrealistic for somebody like me?
For somebody like you, maybe it's not, because of the circles that you move in. You know what I mean? But for the average person, yes, that's unrealistic. You know what I mean? It's so funny because I watch social media as if it's television, y'all.
You watch social media?
I watch the social media. And there's so many times where I see little young girls who just are fresh out of college, and somebody will say, well, what do you look for in a man? Well, he got to make at least $750,000. Bitch, do you know what $750,000 looks like? Do you know how much money that is? You know what I mean? Oh, he got to make at least $250,000. Do you know does your daddy make $250,000? Okay. No, he does not. So let's be realistic in that you need to find someone who you can pour into to potentially get him to the point where he can make that $250,000. Right. And you need to be able to bring something to that table. Part.
And I think that's the thing, April, is that they want somebody to make $400,000 or $500,000, but they don't make but $4,000 or $5,000. But guess what? Athena is here and she's gonna join us. Hey, girl, hey, what's up, Queen?
I literally just came back from Washington State.
Oh, well,
I literally just got off a plane.
If you was in DC and you was out here and you didn't tell me it was going to be
Washington State.
I hear you. I know. I heard her. But
like Oregon, Washington State.
That's on the West Coast. That's where I'm from. I know the geography. Well, welcome, baby.
But I had to come on because I was like, nuh-uh. Constance need a man that can fly with her and do all the things too.
Yes.
That's what Constance deserves.
Okay. I'm not being unrealistic, Athena.
You're not being unrealistic.
Is he out there?
He's out there. I think there is gonna be someone that can keep up with you. They might not have as much as you, but I think definitely someone who can because you do a lot of fun things. You go to concerts, you go to live music. I think that's definitely doable.
Yeah.
I don't think that's like out of reach. And I've seen you on social before. It's not like you're looking for someone to 100% fund your lifestyle, because you've always said that your money's going to your kids and you basically just want a companion.
That's it. I think that's
so. I don't think that's unreasonable at all.
Okay, let me ask you, because you're a woman of a certain age. You're a millennial. You're a millennial. So for you, and then having this dialogue around like the value of marriage, and I know for you, you would want to be married, but do you think that Gen Z millennial age group, are they just not checking for marriage these days? What's going on?
I think in mass, a lot of people are not checking for marriage, because I think, and I think that's more so the men. I think, and also there's differing views. I think the men are looking at it as responsibility that they're trying to avoid. And then there's financial consequence should they not, invest or behave or do certain things. And I think from the woman perspective, a lot of women that I know, and Constance, we're in a group and I posted videos, the fear is that I'm going to be a wife appliance. I'm going to be something that he just mules and doesn't appreciate the unpaid labor of relationships. Which listen, if you quantify that, because what's the average having a man as 7 hours of work?
That adds 7 hours of work on the woman, but it takes the 7 hours off the man, right? A week.
Yeah, and then also your lifespan shortens because
their lifespan increases by having
their lifespan increases. So there is an energy transfer that happens because single women live the longest. Then it's married men, then it's married women, and single men last. So that's the order.
No shit.
Yeah. So when a man is telling you that you are a risk and he can lose all his money that most of them don't have,
Right.
and all
Because
these
you
other
said
things.
what percent? You said what percent of black men actually have, or black people actually are making?
Okay, so the stat is 6% of black US adults make 100K or more.
Only 6.
Only 6%.
Are you sure? Because
Yes.
I feel like
Accurate.
with all the Lamborghinis that I'm seeing around here, I'm feeling
We are
like
in a
Oh,
very
let me also say a
bourgeoisie
lot of the
area of
Lamborghinis that you
Washington.
see. Sorry, y'all. A lot of the Lamborghinis that you see in the DMV are
Rented.
rented. Okay. Trust me, I've dated a
They
few
have
of the
furniture?
drivers.
Do they have the furniture in their house? Are their big houses empty?
Huh?
Are they running from the repo man? I mean, what's going on?
They literally have a couch and a television and one fork, one knife, one spoon, one bowl.
Listen, a lot of these men live like bachelor like lifestyle, like in college. I've dated men who are millionaires too now.
Yes.
You go to their home, there's barely any furniture in there. They
Yeah.
got that one, that college, they got that one other couch.
Yep.
Barely got anything on there.
And hold on, wait. And the mattress is in the corner.
I've never done that far.
Let me tell you. Let me make this very clear.
She said that's that good D man. Huh?
You should try it.
Right. She said that's that man that got that good.
But
Yeah,
you know what I
the man
noticed
on the
too?
floor.
I think they expect like when they get a woman for a woman to do all of that. Like they just rather not do it.
So I have a friend, hopefully, maybe he might be watching her. He may not be watching, but I have a friend that we go over his house and we hang out, we smoke cigars. Big old massive house. He owns an IT firm, got money out the yin yang, and his house looks just like a bachelor pad. Like, because he's a bachelor. So he's not concerning himself with, furnishings and anything like that. I think I've seen a couch. I haven't really went past the kitchen. I think I seen a couch over there, maybe a picture from Ross or something like that. But he can care less about what that looks
like. That. I was shocked because I thought only men at a certain income bracket were like that, but no.
What the hell
don't want to
with that, man?
All of that.
Because they don't care. They listen. If you actually ask a man, they're much more simple than we give them credit. We think that they think like us. That was another conversation that my wonderful husband and I just had. That we have two different ways of thinking. He'll send me these videos and be like, I just want you to know how a man is thinking. And I say, babe, let me make this very clear, and I need you to hear me. You can send me all of those until you're blue in the face. It is not going to change my way of thinking. It's not going to change my actions. The way that I approach you and the way that I treat you is going to be the way that I treat you. I will not disrespect you. I will treat you as the king that you are. I'm not going to change me because I'm a woman first, and my actions are my actions.
But you gotta approach a man in the way that he wants to be approached. Just like you, when we talk about love languages and what are the things that we like, we want a man. Because I was even saying, like, if I had somebody, I think I was talking to you, April. We were talking about, if I were in a relationship, even when I was married, right? Mm-hmm. Initially, he really wasn't into jazz, but she likes jazz, so let's go to some jazz concerts. He ended up really, really liking it. I'm not really into sports, but he likes sports. So, you have to make those sacrifices.
That's called compromise. It's
compromise.
But right. That's not going to change your way of thinking.
It shouldn't change the way of thinking, but you should approach the relationship in a way that they want to be approached, not the way you want to be approached. Love the person the way they want to be loved, not the way you want to love them.
Well,
I find how men seem to be very fascinating. Like, why? It's a fascination of mine. It's just so different. It's so, and there's an element to their thinking that is very much primal.
Yes.
Very much primal, very much, it's almost like they view a lot of things from a state of like survival.
Really? Y'all, I have...
Oh,
sorry. I gotta get out more. No, I was just saying I gotta get out more because I ain't really, had that much experience with, just being with somebody like that. I hang out, I get outside, but to like really have somebody on that level to where you're like kind of seeing them day in and day out and how they think about how they live is
You don't even need to be in a relationship with a man to notice that. I picked up on this mostly through dating and conversation.
Hey, I'm sorry. What? Can you say that one more time? Through you got it through what now, please and thank you. Say you
dating.
Shut up, April.
No, hold on. I need to understand this. Go ahead. I'm sorry. You said
dating.
Dating.
A lot of it. A lot of
dating.
That takes too much work. Don't nobody feel like
okay. So there's this thing that I used to. So there's this woman. We'll call her Constance. And one thing that I would always say is that you should date. Right?
Date them all, sis.
Date them all. Date every single one. And the main reason that I said that is because what it does help you to do is it helps you to figure out what you want and what you don't. Now let me explain.
That is true.
Yes, because to my point earlier, as it relates to, because you're saying you need to treat them the way that they want to be treated, and they need to treat you the way that you want to be treated. And let's just be real, 99.9% of the time, that's not the way that it's going to work.
It is. I mean, I was a wife, and that's the way that successful marriage worked,
right?
Until it didn't.
Right. Mm-hmm. So we're going to go back to the way it really works in real life. And so in real life, what happens is you treat the person the way you treat the person, and they treat you the way that they treat you. And because you all are meant for each other, it works. Just like.
Now there's got to be some compromise there.
No. I didn't say that there's not compromise. I'm just saying that every single thing is not a compromise, because what happens is when you find the person, when you date so much.
I agree with that.
Yeah, when you date
my actual long-term relationships, not dating, the actual relationships I had, most of our relationship was ease because we were so compatible. And when I date now, that's what I date for. I date for compatibility. But my issue in dating is different because I just feel like I'm challenging for most men to understand.
Why?
I think because my dad said this to me when I was younger and I didn't fully grasp it until now. Like he said this when I was in my early 20s. He was just like, Athena, you're beautiful, so men are always going to come to you. But once you open your mouth, they're just not going to know what to do with you because you don't fit neatly in a box. So like there's a lot of elements to my personality that doesn't go. Like I think the image of me is easily consumable and understandable to them. But like the actual, they don't think that who I am as a person and how I look makes sense.
Yeah, you're pretty, shut the hell up.
Right. But once I started talking, like he was just saying, my dad was like saying, you're just too overwhelming. There's like too much. It's almost like you're too good. Like he basically said, if I was like a basic bitch, I'd probably be married by now or chill. Like if I toned it down a lot. But at the same time, for me to do that, it would just take so much effort. And it wouldn't be like my spirit would feel like I couldn't. It couldn't be something I could sustain.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I was definitely like, it sounds bad, but if I was like more average, like I probably would be like partner. Right?
You're a high achiever. You know what you want. You can express yourself and articulate what it is that you want very well.
She's going to get the right person.
But here's the thing
for her when she gets the right person.
I love what Labrina said. She said, if you are thinking, and that's the thing about it, you guys, because in relationships, and even though I haven't dated a whole lot, I'm telling you, I spent most of my life in relationship. And you do have to think of the other person more than yourself. You have to die to yourself daily. It's not just about how I treat you, how you treat me, and you just got to deal with it. It's about thinking that about that other person and the things.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I said it 3 times. Y'all heard?
I understand how you feel sometimes, though.
You have to work with the other person. Yeah. You have to compromise. Yes, that's all a given. But if you are denying yourself so much, I was in a relationship where I was completely denying myself, and I realized why I was denying myself. It was so unbelievably horrible. And then when I got in this relationship, I didn't have to deny myself. I didn't have to change anything. I go to and from DC on a regular basis. I still perform on a regular basis. Don't get it twisted. I have compromised. Let's be real here, right? I live in a whole different place that I would have never moved ever in life. That was a compromise. But what I'm expressing is that if you have to change who you are, you're not going to be able to. You can't.
It's not about changing who you are. It's just like what Labrina said. You're thinking about that other person and their needs above your own, and that's I think what love is. It's about sacrificing, not totally being out of character to where you're not thinking about yourself at all. But I think, as married people, when you're married, you're serving the other person, they're serving you. It's a mutual thing. And you want to, because if you really love them, you really want to serve them. You really want to you really want to make this person happy.
Someone told me once, they said they looked at love with another person, and this is a famous actress, like her name escapes me right now, famous Black actress, she's married, and she said it's just self-love for two. Like things I would do to love myself, I do for her. So normally I'll cook this breakfast for myself. Now I'm just cooking more for us to share. It's a self-love for two. How I love myself, I include them in that love.
Of course. Yeah, that's what a relationship, and that's certainly what marriage is. But let's go back to what you said. And Black Lexicon said he's come to an epiphany about compatibility and evenly yoked. And over the weekend, if we have a moment now, he'd like to share with us. Oh, you had the epiphany over the weekend. We'd love for you to share it with us. Oh, do you want to come on here, Black Lexicon? Is that what you want to do? You want to come on and join us? You're certainly more than welcome. Let me know. But when you talk about dating, because going back to that, because you mentioned dating, and then April got on her little soapbox about dating, and like she's trying to act like I don't.
I hate dating too. By the way, I'm really good at it, but I hate doing it.
I'll be on. The reason I'm married is because I was dating.
It just be nobody that I would want to spend my time with. Like I got to go out the house and go hang out with you, and I don't need you to make. I don't need you to buy me a meal.
I'm not even willing to work for. So you say you want to be in a relationship. This is my problem with it. You say you want to be in a relationship. You're not even willing to put in the work to date in order to find the person that's right for you. That lets me know that you don't want a relationship. It's
no, because April, she hasn't had to do it before.
Okay.
Because she got married when she was super young, and she was in a relationship before. And dating is work.
That is exhausting. To have to go
it is exhausting.
I'm sorry. I worked an 8 to 6 job. I performed singing 3 to 6 days a week. And I found time to go on just about at least a date a day.
But you said you weren't dating with intention.
No, I was dating for sport.
Yeah, you were dating for fun, for sport.
Right. So my point is, and
you liked it. You enjoyed it. I don't like sharing energy and time and space with people that I don't want to share energy, time, and space with.
That's so true. But the thing with dating is, if you're going at it, I find the people who are more successful are the people who took the approach April did when date for sport. If you're going at it as this is like, I'm finding my future husband and this next long-term relationship, sometimes it puts so much pressure on it that you get frustrated, because it's kind of like a marathon. Like when I was heavily dating, I treated dating like a second shift. Like after work and all the stuff after day, I would leave the house around 6, 7, go on my dates. On some of the dates, I used to have 2 dates in the same day. So I would have like a breakfast brunch date and a dinner date. And it's like, but to Constance's point, I got tired of doing that, because it was just like, this shit ain't going nowhere. They all acting the same. It's like wasting my time. I feel like I'm not the type of girl who's like, oh, I need a free meal type of shit. I don't really care.
I'm just saying you went at it wrong. You went at it looking at it as if it was a job.
Yes.
And in all seriousness, so I'm just
very much feels like that.
When Constance first moved to the DMV, she was excited. I'm sorry, Constance. I'm gonna put it out there, right? She was excited. She went out on a regular basis. She wanted to see what the scene was like, not even from a dating perspective, but always just wanting to see what the DC lifestyle was. Am I correct in that?
Yeah.
Okay. So you put work into learning your environment. Why is that different? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, because Big Mac, do you want to come on with us? Let us know.
Welcome. You've got mail.
Because listen, the difference is, at least with the work, and this, I know this is like a thing Black women need to be cognizant of too, because we can just put all our energy in work because that's where the reward is. Because at least if I do this X amount of work, I get X amount of money. But going on these dates with these ninjas is like, I don't know if I'm gonna get like my return on investment on that.
ROI. But it's really more of an energy exchange. Like, I don't want to be out with no. So now I have I do have, some people that pique my interest that I don't mind spending time with. The great majority of the people are just not interesting enough to spend time with. And so I think that becomes the problem, is like, I don't, if you on the phone with somebody, whether you want to actually go to the next step and waste your time and sitting across from them at the dinner table. I just don't want to do that. And so it's more rare to find somebody that I'm interested in sharing a little bit extra time with.
Constance, you just said something. You said, and I quote, the dinner table with, right? Mm-hmm. And that implies to me, you actually are spending, you might have been spending way too much time as it relates to your quote unquote date. It could be going out for a cup of coffee. It could be sitting at the bar for 5 seconds.
What about talking on the phone? Am I dating if I talk on the phone?
I mean, yes, but you're not. I would say yes, but you're not exchanging energy. So that's where I'm saying it's bullshit, right? One of the things that I will never forget, and I hope he's not watching, but if he is, hi. There was this guy I went out on a date with 173 years ago, and I remember it was probably one of the worst dates I've ever been on. We were at Bus Boys and Poets down to the Hyattsville in the DMV, and we're sitting at the bar, and I'm asking him questions to have a conversation. First of all, he didn't look like his picture. Second of all,
catfished you.
He totally catfished me. Second of all, he was, one word answer. So I said, do I look like my picture? He said, yeah, you look like your picture. I said, oh, okay. I said, am I boring you in my conversation? He said, no, not at all. I said, oh, okay. And I said, can I pay for our drinks? And I paid for the drinks. And I said, I just wanted to let you know, this is the most boring date I've ever been on in my life. And I paid for the drinks and turned around and left. Like, it doesn't have to be that serious.
Okay. So I got a confession. Okay. So I ghost people.
I ghost people too.
Right? So I ghost people. Like, I mean, I'll talk to you on the phone for 2 hours and then I'll never see you again. And I'll never even think about you again. I'll never ever think about you again. So April was like, Constance, you got to stop ghosting people. You got to. So I'm talking to this guy a few months ago. We vibing and we on the phone like 2 hours and 14 minutes. We talking about music, like all the stuff that I like. So about 2 hours and 14 minutes, I say, so by the way, what do you do? Now, this is not, I ain't tripping. Like, I ain't counting your money. I said, by the way, what do you do? It's 2 hours and 14 minutes out. I finally said, what do you do? And he got to stutter and he like, I work for the government. And I was like, okay, it's DC. Everybody work for the government. You got a high security clearance. Like, what is it that you do? And he goes, well, I work for the post office, but I've been on workman's comp since 2020. So I got off the phone in 2 hours, 14 minutes and 58 seconds at that point, because I was like, this man, not that he works for the post office. I don't have a problem with that, but the man been on workman's comp since 2020. And I was like, okay, so what do you do? Have you started a business? Like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just doing, some work around the house. Sound like he was real lazy to me. So I was like, you know what? April said, Constance, you shouldn't ghost people. She said, you should tell people that you're not interested. So I said, you know what? I'm going to tell this guy I'm not interested in why. See, I never respond.
I'm not interested. The end. Period.
So I send them a voicemail. And then I was so proud of myself because I was like, let me send it to April. And April picks up the phone and calls me. She said, please don't tell me you sent that voicemail to this man. I'm like, what? I'm happy. I'm proud. I'm like, oh, she going to be so proud of me. I didn't ghost the man. I told
How long was the voicemail?
2 hours and 30 minutes.
4 minutes.
4 minutes. How do you leave a voicemail for 4 minutes?
And I mentioned 4 times that he was on workman's comp.
That's a long voicemail.
I mentioned 4 times that he was in workman's comp. And I didn't even realize, right? So I'm driving in the car with my daughter. I was like, God, listen to this message. And so we're driving and she's like, you're on workman's comp. She's like, okay. Second workman's comp, she was like, okay. Third workman's comp, she's like, fourth workman's comp, she's like, okay, mom, you really sent this man this voice. That's when I realized it was probably too much. So I'm trying to figure this whole thing out.
Which is good because that's what men do. They experiment with us when they date us. So
Thank you.
Experiment with them.
I felt dumb. I thought the man was gonna curse me out. He sent me a text.
Why were you? I don't know.
Wait. He sent me a text. Wait. He sent me a text, and it took me a week to look at it because I felt so stupid. I thought this man cursed my ass out.
But just bad. You should have felt bad. Not stupid.
I felt dumb.
No, I don't like.
Why you guys have like? I've heard this. We've had a panel before, and you guys have talked about having these 2-hour, 4-hour long conversations. I'm like, why you guys?
I just had a 5-hour conversation on Friday.
I'm like, why you guys have all these long conversations in the beginning?
But I have not talked to him since.
My husband and I, our first conversation started at 10 and ended at 3 in the morning. It was worth it, and that's the reason why I continued on with the conversation.
So, wait. For all my men who's watching this right now, baby, you know I still love you.
Where's baby Jesus? Somebody find me baby.
So Constance, are we going out in Chicago to get you a man's? Are we making plans?
I feel like the Bible says that a man who finds a wife finds a good.
The Bible says the grass is greener.
She's a heathen. Don't listen to her. She doesn't know the Bible.
So I do think men should approach you, but I also believe in positioning. So
I'm telling you, I will shoot myself before I shoot my shot at a man. I just won't do it.
I know I can't do it either. I can't do it either. That's not even in my spirit.
Does not get fed. Amen. A closed mouth.
But just be in.
There's a big
wait, Athena. Wait, Athena. So April, this is what April told me to do. She said, go up to a man, like you're out and about. Go up to a man and you go, what are you doing tonight? And then he goes, nothing. And she goes, how about me?
What? April is spicy. April is spicy.
And she's like so serious.
April was feisty.
Oh yeah, she's retired. She got her man, so she can't be doing that, obviously.
No. And that was a real thing that have you tried that before, April?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't want to put your business out there. I didn't want to say it. She's actually practiced it, and
I feel like every woman has their style and how they want to approach things. Like I don't do that. Don't listen to April.
Well, listen, I was wait though. I was at a backyard barbecue on Saturday, and I was coming out. And there was a guy, tall drink of water. I was like, hey. So I did kind of shoot my shot at him. We exchanged phone numbers.
Okay.
What did you shoot your shot? I want to know what you said.
I said, okay, let me tell you what I said. I said, oh, hey. And he was like, hey. And I said, oh, where are you going? You just now getting here? So I had a wagon. He grabs my wagon. He walks me to the car and we exchanged numbers. And then I dropped him off at his car because he was like a block up. And so we exchanged numbers. And then guess what? The next day, he texted me, was like, hey, just wanted to check in with you, blah, blah, blah. And guess what I did? I didn't respond because I totally lost interest. I think I was intoxicated because I said, I normally don't do this. He goes, you had a drink? I said, I had 3. He was like, okay.
Okay, so from that moment to the next day,
he grabbed, wait. He grabbed my wagon. The wagon that I was pulling.
First of all, Jermaine, I want to know why nobody's supposed to listen to me. ?
Because nobody's going up to a man and saying, what are you doing tonight? How about me? Nobody's going to.
I don't see a problem with it.
I can't help myself. There's nobody I like.
What kind
I like to stand and look cute method. Just show up looking cute.
What happened? Show up? What? What did I miss?
I just stand up and look cute. And look like I have a great time and they come.
The way that I see it, and I would have to say, I feel that you can have a presence when you walk into a room.
Okay.
And I feel that every woman is capable of having it. And if she wants the person that she wants, she can give him an eye that shows him, you need to come over here and ask me.
It's the 3 second. It's a 3 second look. My girl Sheila told me. She goes, you go like this. 1, 2, 3. Then you go back and then you go again. Right?
Who's Sheila?
My friend Sheila, she gets all the guys. She goes, you got to do like this. 3, go back, and then 1, 2, 3 again, and then that's how you.
She counts it.
I don't do that.
Huh? I can't do it either. I feel like a creep.
No, I just look directly. I just look directly and I smile. I look directly and I smile.
My thing is, I've been married for so long that I train myself not to give men eye contact because I don't want to give them the impression. So that's already ingrained. So I got to intentionally like, okay, now I gotta learn how to do that.
No, you're in sales.
Look in their direction and smile.
If you're in sales, and I'm not even trying to be funny, if you've ever been in sales, first of all, eye contact is very important. And so what I don't understand is how you were in sales as long as you've been in sales and not
because I was a married woman in sales. And so, you know, again, you train yourself to, you know, you don't want men to think that you're interested. I know for me, like, you know, but look, so I always say, because, you know, Jermaine said I don't like nobody, which I don't, which is extremely hard for me. So I go out to this little lounge, right? I go out and I'm like, so I'm sitting down there and this guy was like, well, you know, he's married. He's like, what do you think about dating? And I'm like, you know, nobody approaches me. Cause you know, that's my thing. That's what I say. Nobody approaches me. And then that night, everybody was approaching me and I was like, not you, you know, and then they was grabbing my arm and I was like, and so it was getting on my nerves because at the same time, so here's my thing. Here's my problem, April. Here's my problem, Athena. I don't want to meet no man at no lounge. I don't want to meet no man at no club. I'm not interested in that type of environment, meeting a man. I just go there to listen to music, leave it alone. Let me enjoy my time. Don't grab my arm. I don't want to dance with you. I don't want to dance with your friend. I just want to enjoy myself. That's what I'm there for.
Athena, can we talk? It's just me and you right now. Nobody else can hear us. You know, when people say things like that, I'm not naming names, okay? But it's frustrating. Okay. And the reason I say that is because you say things like, I don't want to meet no man at no place that I normally go on a regular basis. I would rather meet them at my house. Magically, I would.
Yeah, because that's what I would say is to meet them where you normally go. So if that's where you normally go, that's where you should meet a man because that's the environment.
Referrals.
I don't understand.
Only referrals.
I don't understand why he doesn't just knock on my front door and say, hey, we go together. I don't
actually. Jermaine just gave me a referral today, which I was like, okay. I haven't.
Who's the referral? I need to know who the referral is.
You don't know him. You don't know him. But you know, it's funny because, so here's the thing. This is what I told Jermaine.
I'm going to text you, Jermaine.
This is what I told Jermaine today because sometimes people be like, hey, my friend likes you. He wants your number. And I'd be like, send a pic. They'll send these booger bears, and then the person will never hear from me again. Like it'll like I got people on my phone, like they send me pictures of booger bears, and I'm like,
what's a booger bear?
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you exactly what a booger bear is. I sent her a picture of a very handsome man.
He had discolored teeth.
He did not have discolored teeth. He was an investor, a very successful investor in real estate. I'm like, they have something they can talk about. He's very attractive.
Constantly, he could always get like some bright strips or something.
No, he just wasn't my energy. He wasn't my vibe.
He was tall. He like every single thing that he was. He was by himself, sir, ma'am. Go sit down.
He just looked like he had a short.
Sit down by yourself. He was taller than me.
He's supposed to knock on my door.
Constance is still in protective mode.
You have a problem. It's mental.
Right about
okay.
You're still in protective mode. You're not gonna like anybody because I
don't want the bullshit that I had to
guard up.
Let me tell you something. I want the bullshit I had to do it from the marriage and from situationships.
Mm-hmm. Right? Never say that you want a relationship.
Lying, you know, narcissists, gaslighting you, all that stuff. So I just was like, you don't know because initially, you know, with a narcissist, they love bomb you at first. You're the best thing ever. And then all of a sudden you're like, hey, what happened? I thought you liked me. And you know what I'm saying? And so it's like, you find somebody that you might think that you're compatible with, but they're just a narcissist because all they did was mirror you the entire time because they studied you. And then the real them shows up because, you know, they can only send their representative for so long. And then you're like, I gotta go through this shit again. You don't even know if the shit is real. So it's like,
you can't really start believing in them until 6 months to a year.
Right.
But it's like,
6 months to a year, that's a long time. I'm almost 50.
Yeah. And I hate to have to say it that way, but from what I see in like the dating market and experience, I think the most astonishing thing for me with dating was just realizing how commonplace certain behaviors were. Like, it's been a level of savagery that I'm not used to.
Speak on that. What do you mean savagery?
Just very like degenerate behavior. And also it's not even a socioeconomic thing. It's across the board. Like 100,000, 100 million across the board. Like, it doesn't, like, he can have like an Italian suit or some Tim boots, like across the board, like certain behaviors, which I said I like observing men because I find them so fascinating based off of behavior.
Really?
Yes.
Man. Yeah, that's the reason why it's gonna be hard for you, because you gonna see the bullshit coming. I already know this ninja. I see the way he walk. Just like April said, she can determine certain things by the way a man walks.
What can you tell about by the way a man walks, April?
How much he loves his wife.
No, that's not what it is.
How much he loves God.
Nope, that's not what it is.
That's the answer I'm giving, and that's it.
Oh,
Nope.
if he's hanging?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, she said she's an expert. She said she's 100% on target.
I thought it was like from the length of the thumb to the top of the index finger, or something like that, or I don't know, whatever.
No comment. Eric Black said he likes my energy. Eric Black, go ahead and DM me. Let's see what's happening. You look kind of cute.
No, let me make this very clear.
So the savagery is not necessarily coughing or anything. The savagery is like the mindset, like predatory nature of like trying to like scam you out your underwear. Like, that's what I mean by savagery.
But you know, when you
like
have
the lengths that they would go to do that. And I'm like, you know what? If you were an actual nice guy and took the same amount of energy to try to scam me out of my underwear, so actually being a good person, you would be right.
I'm gonna take up for the men on this one. I'm sorry to say this, but you have so many women that are 100% showing their representative that it is confusing guys.
100. Well, okay. How are women showing their representative? Because
I agree. I actually agree with that statement.
What are they doing? Were they acting like they could clean? What are they doing?
Yes, 100%. Yes, they go in the house and they're like, roaches, run away. We don't want him to know that you live here. Like, no, okay, no. This, like, it's an ungood situation, and I've seen so many women. And I mean, it's on both sides. I'm not never make the man woman thing.
Because,
there's
like,
so many people introducing.
Yes, drawn to the fantasy.
There's so many people introducing their representatives. It's just annoying. It's annoying. Like, stop.
But you know what? Look, let me just show you this video of what Dr. Brian said about low functioning women, which I think were
respect. Seriously, to all the women that you've encountered, ladies, I'm saying this. The reason why it's worked for you is because you have chosen and to prey on low functioning women who don't have the emotional intelligence. No, I'm going there. Who will allow you to do that, Nick? And when I say allow, it's not a control thing. When I say allow, I'm not saying that she sits across you and says, this is what you won't do. You're crossing a boundary.
Everyone's low functioning at some point in their life.
You cannot function low with a woman of my functioning, not because I'm superior. Not because I'm superior. Listen to me say this really quick. Not because I'm superior to any other woman, but because I do have leverage. I've been in my field for 17 years, so we get that. But I've done the work, meaning you won't have an opportunity to get hostile with me, and you may want to flee, but fleeing would not get you a payoff with me.
So what do you think? Do you think that women are being low functional in what they allow?
Yes. In these dating streets, I can tell you stories. That was the other shocking thing. Because I thought, these men, you know, because we love to blame the men. Women are cutting deals out here. In dating streets, in their relationships. I've had a guy tell me once, we went on dates, we had great time. Didn't hear from him, but it was no problem. Came back. He was like, so I was like, out of curiosity, because I already crossed him off my list, but out of curiosity, when we were talking, I was like, so what made you come back? He's like, oh yeah, I was spending time with this other girl, but I just, you know, but she wasn't as fun as you and all this other stuff. But he hooked up with her. So
really?
Yes.
And then what, he lost interest after he hit it and quit it, or what? Is that what happened?
Yes, I guess so. And then, but I left, because of course, I left a good impression on him. He was like, when he had, post nut clarity came out of it, he was like, oh, I actually really like this girl, but I wasn't giving it up. So what I noticed in the dating scene too, it's like a lot of low functioning behavior, since that's our buzzword. And instead of, even if you like a girl, I'm going to go over here with the ease that I get what I want because I don't have to be challenged in anywhere. I don't, and it's not even necessarily a thing of, he just might be in a space where he doesn't want anything serious right now. He might be in a space where he just want to have fun, thought and bop or whatever. Because I've seen that as well. So I'm just going over here where it's compliant, even though this is probably the person I really want to actually get to know as a person, because I can just have that ease. Now, I think a lot of women think that, okay, I'm going to do this, make things as easy as possible to get the guy. But what comes to bite us in the ass is, okay, you might get him, but what is the quality of what you have? That's the other side of that. Like, what is the quality of what you have?
As a woman who's dated and many men and who has had many conversations with many men, 9 times out of 10, if you were that person that he, and I'm not trying to, no disrespect, but if you were the person that he's like, you know what, you're the person that I really want to be with, that would have been the case before the nut. You get what I'm saying? Like, most guys know who they want, what they want when they find it.
Mm-hmm.
And they start treating you as such when they want it, when you're the person that they want to be with.
Mm-hmm.
And so what he was trying to do is get nut number 2, in my opinion. I could be wrong. I've never been a man ever in my life, I promise. I just know how most guys are. And most guys are way more direct than we are. And if that's what they want.
I don't think so. So I heard a relationship therapist say that men actually have a harder time breaking it off with women because men are the chasers. Men are the hunters and the gatherers, right? So they're used to getting rejected, but they're not necessarily ones that want to reject women. So they'll string them along. They won't say anything.
They hope that you break up with them.
They hope that you break. Yeah, they'll do certain things so that you break up with them.
And not if they found the one that they want to be with.
Not the one they want to be with, correct.
And that's my point.
And to your credit, April, I don't think he wanted to be with me, obviously.
I think he wanted that number 2. He was like, yes. I'm trying to get a second.
And I'm glad I have my boundaries in place so he can find his way.
So, yeah. And one of the things that I've noticed a lot when it comes to women, which is one of the reasons why I guess when it comes to my husband, I get frustrated with him sending me things about how this is how men should be. This is how men, listen. You tell me. I don't want to hear it from another woman because another woman can never be a man.
Right.
I want to hear it from you, how you want us to, if you have an issue with the way I'm doing something, you tell me. I don't want you to send me no video. I don't want to learn it from somebody else.
Like me too. Look, he's validating how I'm feeling, but really you don't care about what he thinks. You care about what your husband thinks.
Right.
You want to know how he feels.
Right.
But it goes back to having that emotional intelligence, like Joel said, and really trying to understand your partner. And I think that's what I think a lot of people enter these relationships with a selfish mindset. It's about me. How can you satisfy me? How can you fulfill me? What can you do for me? And that's the reason why people, I was married. I was with my ex for 30 years, maybe 29.5 years too long. Who knows? But no, I'm just kidding. That was just jokes. But I'm just saying, so I know what it means to be committed and in a long-term relationship. Ain't nobody on here been married long. Me. It's about sacrifices. It's about compromise. It's about looking out for them before you look out for yourself. It's about wanting the best for that other person. So you got to go to what they need and what they want, as opposed to what you are looking at and what you want for yourself. And I think that's what people need to do. They just have to kind of think outside.
So Constance, where are you at? Are you looking for, because I'm looking at the topic of the show, like alternative lifestyles. And we're gonna do Fly Nubian After Dark on Friday. Hopefully hopefully you can join.
Hey.
But
Girl,
are
I'm doing
you
drinks on Friday
looking
night. That's
in
what I'm doing
your
Friday
next
night. I thought y'all
stage?
was gonna do Thursday nights because Friday nights I'm in the streets, baby.
All right, we'll discuss offline
Thank you.
what that is. But are you looking to get married again, or you just want a boyfriend for a long time?
I'm not looking to get
She
married.
don't know.
I'm not looking to
She
get
don't
married.
know.
But I told you
Yeah,
guys.
I listen to what Jermaine says. Jermaine, can you put Jermaine's
What did she
Jermaine
say?
said?
I'm looking to get married?
Yes. But she gonna say no.
No.
Look, she doesn't know what she wants.
Marriage does not sound appetizing to me. I just want somebody that I like a lot right now that I could hang out with when you travel and just do fun things together.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I think you need some spoiling, Constance. I think you need to find
because I didn't spoil ninjas for too long. I didn't spoil.
No, yeah. You need to be spoiled. You need to have that experience.
I have not had that. No, I have not.
I think that's what you need. I agree.
Then that's what I want. Okay, so that's the goal. I just need to be spoiled. But when you talk about alternative lifestyle, I'm a woman of a certain age, and I've done that, and that was like, okay, like I've done that.
You've done what?
Marriage.
I don't think that's something that I aspire to do. Now, for you, Athena, or even for my daughter, I think that's a great thing because you want to build something with someone. Unless somebody could change my mind and make me fall head over heels. But my second and my fourth chakra is closed.
Yeah, clearly. Very much so. But you know what? The thing with that, Constance, is it will keep BS out, but it also keep love out.
I know. Yeah. And so
it's just gonna keep everything out.
It used to be like April tell you. One day I want to like somebody, the next day I don't. The next day I do, the next day I don't. It was just like that. But lately, it's like, no, I'm good. I just don't want to like nobody. And I don't want nobody to bother me. I'll look at the little dating app. Sometimes I get pinged on a date now. Like I got pinged a couple of times, and I was just like, and 99.9% of them get a no. Just not interested in, and it just has to be somebody, I guess, that's extraordinary. That'll make me pay attention. And it's not because I think I'm just so great. It's just like, I don't want no bullshit.
Because I think you're and this is something that I had to work on too when I first started dating, because I never had to do it before up until recently. The past 2-3 years, I never dated before. And once you started, I think I was like in this bubble of certain kinds of men. So dating was like astonishing to me. Like I didn't even know men behave certain ways. Like it was like a shock to my system.
Like in a good way or bad way?
Bad. Like if I was to base like my perception of men,
you really out here lying like that? You really out here being deceptive and
on yeah. So if I were to base my perception on men solely on my dating experiences, I would not be checking for men right now. It's my actual relationships, and I've had really, really good relationships, and that keeps me positive. But within that, my first early stages of dating, it was very bad because I was just like, man, these ninjas just acting crazy. And it created a frame of thinking that this is how they all are. And I had to work through that to step outside of that frame, because then I was like, okay, I just be single and I don't want nobody bother me, and I don't want to deal with all the BS and all the other stuff that similar to what you were saying, Constance.
But let me ask you this though, Athena, do you feel like you missed your window? Because it's like for your age group, if you're not married right out of college or in your early 20s, it's a lot harder, and a lot of these, when you look at like the demographic, white girls, they say they go to college to find a husband. Black girls go to college to make that shmoney. So do you feel like you should have been more proactive when you were in college to like
No, I mean, I did get proposed to and engaged during college. So I've had opportunities to marry before. I just didn't continue on to actually marry. But I don't think I missed out on anything, because outside of those two men, the reasons why I didn't marry them were very valid reasons, because we would have ended up in divorce. And I'm glad I did that. And I'm glad I did premarital counseling, and I'm glad I did all the things, and I wouldn't change the decision. I do think that, I don't know, I'm very abundance mindset oriented. I've never had an issue with dating or attracting men. The issue is just that I don't think that they are suitable for what I'm looking long term. Like, I feel like most, and this is a theory that I have, but I feel like most men, at least in my generation, actually I didn't even say generation, because I've dated older men too, I didn't find them husband material. They would have been good for right now or as a boyfriend or whatever, but I didn't think they would make great husbands.
That's what I need. That's what I'm looking for. So just right now, man. I'm good with that. No, but you know, when you when you talk about an abundance mindset, I think that's the right approach. And I feel like when the right time is, I'm available and I'm outside. So it's not like I'm just in the house, because I have a sister and my sister's beautiful, but she won't go nowhere. She won't do nothing. And the man's not going to knock on her door. I'm outside. I'm just not pressed. And, you know, there was a time, and this is what I was telling April last week. The reason why I think, you know, it was like, I want somebody, I want some, because the first inclination coming out of a marriage or a relationship is that you want to just replace that. You want to be with somebody, right? You feel like you desire to be in a relationship, and or you want to get under somebody to get over somebody else, right? So that was sort of my thinking initially. I just wanted to ease the pain and just get somebody else to just kind of take that place. But I think when I got to a place where that person was out of my system completely, it's like, man, I'm not in a rush. It happens, but I don't need something else to kind of take over that feeling, or, you know, the heartbreak that I had from the other situation. And so that's the reason why I'm like, it's cool, but it's not really a priority like it was before, because it was really a desire just to kind of heal, to have somebody help me heal. I'm healed. I'm Gucci.
I don't know, because I feel like you're blocking a lot.
I am. I'm just over it. So maybe I'm blocking. I don't know.
But I feel like you also get in the stage, because me and my dad had conversations about this. Like, when you're single for so long, and I've been single for a while. I mean, I've dated, but I've been single for a long time, since my last committed relationship. You get in. My dad was concerned that you're so comfortable that it's just gonna really be hard for you to, like,
that's what you don't want. You don't want to be too comfortable in your single,
which I am, and I acknowledge it. I completely acknowledge it, because, like, the way things happen is like, okay, if he has a mindset, and I think for me the biggest issue in dating is mindset. Like, I don't like the that's the biggest thing I eliminate guys off of, is mindset.
I think that my biggest, what I'm hearing is, we're not giving a lot of men any chances, but we're expecting them to give us all of them. You know what I mean? And we're expecting that they give us time to get ourselves together, but we don't give them any opportunities to get themselves together. I think that that's where my frustration lies with women of a certain age. When they get to a certain age, they're like, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this.
No, I'm 50. We're not building. You come build.
I'm 33 and I still feel like that. I was like, at this point, you need to be potential or taking time.
And there's so many areas, and I'm gonna put myself out there. So this is not directed at either of you, so that nobody feels like it's directed at them. I'm that person that there's so many areas that I needed to improve and didn't realize that I needed to improve them. And so I'm sitting here thinking to myself, okay, well, he needs to have this and he needs to have that. What do I have all of those things? You know what I mean?
That's the only thing I'm asking is what I'm willing to give. That's the only thing I'm asking.
And it's more than just finances.
I'm not even talking about finances. I'm talking about honesty. I'm talking about integrity. I'm talking about adding value to you. I want somebody to add value.
It's also allowing someone to be able to finish a thought. But, you know, I mean, I'm just saying, No. I mean, I was only saying that because from a man's perspective. No, I'm messing with you. I'm just saying, just in general, I think that that's where, and again, that's why I said it wasn't you all that I was talking about.
Sure.
There are a lot of women that say, I don't want this in a man. I don't want that. I don't want this. I don't want that. But if a man comes and says something so small, you know what? I really would want her to be a little bit smaller in the waist. Oh, I can't believe he would say something like that. And it's like, you just said that you want him to be hung all the way down to his knees.
I mean,
I don't understand why it's okay for you to say all of the things that you want, but if he says any of those things, it's a problem. I'm just saying that all of us as women need to first look at ourselves when it comes to trying to find the person that we want to be with.
Agreed.
And I think that we don't really take that opportunity to do so, because if we talk about our upbringing, when it comes to girls, we have been brought up thinking we're not wrong, or how can somebody kiss our boo-boo? Where when it comes to the guys, it's like, come on, get up, you got it, you know what I'm saying? So they have a different mindset. We look at it like, you need to fix yourself for me, because everybody has always fixed themselves for us. So when are we going to make those changes for them? That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna leave it alone.
I thought that Athena had a date, because Norman said Miss Athena has a certain poise I like, but then when he said that you was like the broads that he grew up with, I'm like, well, again, you just lost me there.
I don't even know what broad means.
You were close. You were close.
I don't even know what that means.
Listen, you got a whole lot of fans on here. Black Lexicon, Norman, come on, somebody.
We might have to have a conversation behind the scenes, because being on Fly Nubian Money has brought like ninjas from like the I haven't seen
really
years out of the closet. Like, oh, I saw you on the show. I saw you on the show. I'm like,
that doesn't happen to me.
People watching this.
Everybody watches you, Constance Carter.
No,
I've been out in public with you, and people have been like, "Oh my God, it's Constance Carter."
I'm talking about men. No, I'm talking about men. Like, how come ain't no men coming out the woodwork for me?
Lord, you don't want it.
Look at Dennis Spraggins just jumped on the bandwagon. Rut-roll, Rorge.
Are you guys coming to ABNC so we can vent in person?
But look, I love this. And then we're gonna get off. I love this because I wanted to address this. Dual said the dictionary is the only place where courting comes before dating. Are men just not courting women anymore?
I think there's an element of that. But I love a gentleman. But I feel like I want a natural gentleman, not a man cosplaying as one. There's a difference.
Ooh.
Like my two exes, that's just who they were as people. Like everyone got that treatment, like everybody. Versus with dating, I think like the scam is, all right, I'm gonna be extra chivalrous and nice these first 3 dates or these first 3 months, and then like I'm gonna hop out like the Green Goblin afterwards. After like relax. So I feel like that's what happens. But it's just I did say I was at a space where ideally what I want, right? Because I think what happens is when men meet me in person or we have conversation, I can feel the tension, and I feel like there's like a lot of, in their mind, sexual tension. Me, I'm not even checking for them like that. But I don't want a relationship where there isn't genuine care and concern. And that's my issue. I feel like when men engage with me, they're looking either for, she looks good and she can look good with me, or she's smart, she can help my business. It's always like other things. And I feel like there's a lack of, or we can do the power couple thing. Like, I just want to actually have someone who genuinely cares. And I feel like that's what has been missing. And that's why I haven't really picked anybody, is because it's always the lack of reciprocity and like selfishness that I've seen. It turns me off from engaging further. Also, and I feel like there's this element of men thinking that I'm a bitch. Like, just based off how I look, she probably is high maintenance. She probably, a diva, and she gonna step all over me or whatever. So they're actually put off guard when they see how like easy it is to have a conversation But then I feel like there's an element like I don't know, like I've just seen like a lot of the predatory, I'm trying to find something to take advantage of you for. But I do notice a difference with older men than men in my age group. I feel like the older men understand reciprocity more. Like closer to my age group, it's like, what you gonna do for me?
She's like 33. Aren't you like 33?
Yeah, I'm 33.
And that's a thing too. I think, when I think about, people that I used to deal with and the people that I'm no longer involved with, I'm just like, damn, they're poor partners. Because they were crap.
And to be honest with you, like I've seen marriages, like all right, so my dad and my stepmom have been married for like 40 years. So I have an example of like marriage that is long-term, right? And my aunt was married to my uncle until he died. That was 41 years. So I get counts, and I have, it's so funny. I have like girlfriends that are my age, and like my next group of girlfriends are like in their 50s and up. And I get so much wisdom from them. But I have seen from the outside looking in and some inside looking in with marriages. And to be honest with you, I don't think women in my age group and younger truly understands what all of that marriage is going to entail. Like I always understood that there was going to be a sacrifice involved with marriage as a woman, because I've seen my parents, right? So I kind of know. But to be honest with you, what is so concerning is that I would say like my generation and below, a lot of the focus is on that ring and on that day and on that bachelorette party and on
the wedding, but
all
not
of that. And I don't think the first few years they truly understand like Wagwan. Like I don't think they understand what it really is gonna be. They're not prepared, and no one tells us. I was always different. I don't know, it's because I grew up around men and I have 4 brothers. I have no sisters. Like, that's why I did the premarital counseling. I always knew I had to, like, the longevity of that marriage is going to largely depend on me, because women are the ones who file mostly for divorce. And I needed to make sure that we were compatible and had the skills right. I feel like in those first 7 years, women don't fully realize or what they're signing up for. Like maybe he's great as a boyfriend, but as like a husband, like when you guys have responsibilities and you're living together and you're paying bills and you're having kids now, I feel like they expected a lot of the men to contribute in ways that wasn't fully discussed or like worked out. And then they get overwhelmed and then they're like, okay, I'm just going to file for divorce now. Like, I don't feel like when I have conversations with women who've been married 20, 30, 40 years, my takeaway from those conversations are always the same. Like,
that nobody's really.
Why aren't the older women or married women letting us know what's really going on behind the scenes? Because a lot of them are ashamed that what's really happening.
Nobody's really happy.
For failure, because we don't really know what it's going to take to make some of these marriages work.
And that's the reason why I'm not interested in marriage, because it's like nobody's really happy.
So I disagree, because if you look at that from a marriage perspective and from being single, then if that's the case, you're right. Nobody is happy. You know what I mean? Like, you have so many people who are single who are like, oh, I want to be married. And you have so many people who are married who are like, oh, I want to be single. I think that what people have to do is really focus on who you are, and which is one of the reasons why I said what I said as it relates to being married. One of the reasons that we've had our Armageddon, right? We've had our blow up where we were just like, it's over. I don't want to be with you no more. It's it, right? And what brought us back together is the realization that we're better together, and that we want to be together, and we're willing to fight for each other, right? And because I can be myself in front of him, and he can be himself in front of me, and he can do him, and I can do me. And when we do ourselves, we're doing it together, and we're enjoying each other's company while we're doing whoever we are, if that makes any sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but that's what it's about. So y'all listen, we're going to wrap up. this was a very engaging conversation because we're supposed to be talking about, generational curses and alternative lifestyle, but it's actually, just being two single women, one divorcee, one young single woman, and then a married woman, to have those different perspectives on what it should look like for each of us. Honestly, I'm still trying to figure it out. I don't know. But April, what are your final thoughts?
Wait, can I ask a question real quick?
What?
Athena, as it relates to you, because based on your age, what age range would you rather date, or what's the oldest guy, or what age range would make you happy?
I actually put a cap because I didn't before, and I realized I need to put a cap. So ideally, with 10 years or my age, like I'll go as far as like 10 years. Because
would you go down?
Me too.
I would go down. I would go down if he was very, very mature.
Okay.
I would go down to I guess the youngest, probably 28, 29.
Okay. I only asked that question because I forget what you said earlier, but it just made me think, like, would you date somebody who is a lot older? But I
have dated someone. Listen, I can't tell you the age. I've dated older men before. Like, I'm not an ageist.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I
won't go below 3 years, 2 years, maybe even 1. I like older.
Are you ageist, Constance?
I want an older man. I don't want nobody younger than me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same.
Older men I like because I can have very deep intellectual conversations with them, and I like because they understand that natures of women before, because they're older. And I also like that it's just certain things, but it's a trade-off. And I had to tell girls this, there's no ideal age bracket. You're trading off something for something.
Yeah, when
he
they
might
get
be older and financially stable, but then he might be controlling and all this.
And he might have ED.
Yeah. Before we sign off, let's touch on that for a second.
Mm-mm.
So my married correspondent woman.
Oh, okay. I was about to say,
starting at age 35, but definitely somewhere in the 40s, the D is temperamental. Like, sometimes you gotta pray that it come up.
No.
Look at constant face.
No comment.
So I heard it was like, okay, if they're healthy, if they have like a good diet, work on the stress, not so bad, but like a good chunk of them have like low testosterone or like temperamental peen.
Go get you some maca root.
Because in Jamaica, we drink our strong back.
In our age range, we're at our peak. So it's so weird how God made things, right? So he, the men were at the.
We really should be going backwards.
Yeah, right. It's like, man, like now, like let's go, and it's like, give me a minute.
So you ain't gotta say a prayer each time, or like they have to drink like, what was it called? Sea moss and like Viagra blend or something.
Oh no.
But you know what? Research is showing that the ED is starting at younger ages because of like the PORN use.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it. I believe it.
Like in the 20s now. In the 20s, as early as the 20s, they're.
Wow.
And I've had some conversations with some male correspondents in their 30s, and they said they had to give up PORN because it was starting to.
I just met a guy who was saying that. I met him at Grace's last week, and he was just saying how he can't even keep a relationship because of his addiction and how it just affected him.
Yep.
Yeah.
My friend was on a dating app dating a doctor, and he came out and said that he had sex, PORN addiction, and to the point where
we not say sex porn? We can't say sex porn addiction.
I don't know. I don't know if I don't know. I don't know what YouTube's going to do.
I just want to make sure, like, what words we could say. Can we not say sex porn addiction?
I don't know, but I think at men of a certain age, do have some issues, and you'll run across them, and then But see, listen, here's the thing. I ain't outside like that, so I don't have a whole bunch of people that I'm engaging in that way. So I wouldn't know, like everybody.
Okay, so all right. using me as an example, I set out 10 years, so I can date someone 43, 45, up to 45, right? Are you saying that he might have like issues if he's that age?
45
I'm
though?
supposed to
That
be
would
with?
be concerning.
I would say 50 plus, but I would say, macaroot works and blue pill.
But I don't want him to.
I wouldn't want somebody. I mean, and let me say it for those of you.
Macaroot is actually natural.
No, macaroot is good. But I was gonna say like the blue pill is it would be concerning if that was an everyday type
Why don't
thing.
you
You know what I
like
mean?
I'm about to cry?
That's why macaroot is good, because macaroot will get you where you need to go when you need to go. And it's natural. It's like a vitamin.
That's something you can take that with your coffee every morning. Actually, I mean, women can take it. Macaroot
For their
is,
hair. Yeah, but it's.
I don't need anything stimulating me right now.
well, I'm saying like
macaroot
has like I had to talk to my gynecologist. I'm like, what is going on? She was like, your body is just trying to get you pregnant because of how your age right now. Your eggs are trying to be fertilized.
Yeah, you better get it. Macaroot has been good to me though.
Get it.
I'll say that.
Listen, no, ring first, honey, because y'all not gonna see me on no baby mama struggle like Joie Chavez and all the other girls pumping out kids for men who ain't thinking about them twice.
I mean, if he might have a little money to help, take care
of
him.
No. I'm not supposed to be fodder for any kind of man or somebody else in the rotation.
Dual said she thinks sex is beautiful, but personally, I believe there's nothing casual about love or the making of it. And Era said, if it doesn't work for you in the mind in the matter of y'all's connection, he doesn't feel connected and think embarrassment before anything even begin. Women can help ease men by soft talk.
I like that Era Black TV.
I love that too. All right, ladies. Final thoughts, April.
Final thought. I would say Nick Cannon has 12 children, and he and I don't think that he's really thinking about his children and the outcome of their lives. That's it. That's all.
What do you think, Dana?
Final thought is that we should not uphold degeneracy in our community, no matter how famous someone is or how much money they have. Always think about longevity and what it's going to be for your benefit as a person and your family. And also what activities are conducive to wealth building, because spreading out, listen, my parents joke about this, but I'm like, damn, I'm gonna have to split my inheritance how many ways? Like, listen, like we, they don't like when I say that, but it's true. So I was just like, listen, we need to think about these things, and also be open to love, be open to meeting someone and believe that if you exist, then the love that you want also should exist in somebody else. It's divine law.
Does. I agree. And the person will show up when you're the right person in the right place at the right time, they will show up too. And as I said to Dr. Alicia earlier, I don't want nobody who ain't ready. Let him bake in the oven a little bit longer. And then when he's ready to be mine, then he will be. That's what it is. I don't want him to come a minute sooner because I'm enjoying my life to the fullest, y'all. I am having the time of my life. So when he comes, he has to add to that and not take away from it. And there's too many men out there that are taken away from all that.
Please send us someone that does not need Viagra, please. Thank you, Jesus.
In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.